I welcome all women here and I say happy International Women's Day to every woman here. And I welcome you to this webinar this afternoon. My name is Orie Van and I'll be taking us through this program. Once again, I want to welcome you all and on behalf of CED Construction and Engineering Digest, I welcome you to this event to celebrate women, especially the women in the built environment. Before we actually start, I'm going to introduce as many as are here. Before we start, I just want to just read out something I read in 2019 from South Africa. And it says that in 2019, there was a cry for women in the built environment sector to help lead the sustainability drive in South Africa. Women's Month is an opportunity to acknowledge and celebrate the amazing contribution that South African women are making across every sphere of life. It is also fitting for it to be a time to mark a call to action for accelerating gender parity, particularly in sectors such as construction and the built environment, where imbalances are still notably apparent in this male-dominated terrain. And I want to say that I don't think that is just peculiar to South Africa, it's also what we find in Nigeria. And then someone made this call that women should arise and help to lead the sustainability drive in South Africa. This afternoon, I want also to say, to call on women, especially in the built environment, to arise and help lead the sustainability drive in Nigeria. And this year of CED is looking at building a thriving ecosystem for female professionals in the built environment. I know that in the built environment, we have a lot of women in good positions, handling a lot of infrastructures, handling a lot of constructions to help build this nation and to sustain these infrastructures. Once again, I welcome you, and I want to introduce some of the our speakers and some people that are here. In the persons of, I can see Engineer Dr. Mrs. Ikalo. You're welcome, ma'am. I can see Engineer Sikora at Adenike side. You're welcome, ma'am. I can see Taibat Lawansin. You're welcome. I can see Mrs. Abimbola Ajayi. You're welcome to this conversation on how our women will help to sustain the profession in Nigeria. A little introduction to our speakers, then we kick off from there. I want to especially welcome Engineer Mrs. Martha Ikalo, FNSE, FNSCH.E, the CEO and Managing Partner, Subim International Limited. She's a chemical engineer by profession and had 35 years post-qualification experience. She has achieved exceptional success in the fields of engineering, administration, business, and management. For over a decade, she served in various capacities in NNPC, Delta Steel Company, Alajawari, National Fertilizer Company of Nigeria, NAFCON. And in the year 2000, she became the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Subim International Limited, a company certified by Current since 2009 to operate in the areas of civil engineering and chemical engineering. Engineer Mrs. Ikalo holds a BSc in chemical engineering with a first class from the University of Timis, Roma in Europe, and a master's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Lagos, Nigeria. Engineer Mrs. Ikalo is certified by professional bodies, and she holds a fellow in all. Such professional bodies are the Nigerian Society of Engineers, the Nigerian Society of Chemical Engineers, the Association of Professional Women Engineers in Nigeria, the Institute of Professional Managers and Administrations, the Institute of Information Management, and the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, CORE. You're welcome, Engineer Dr. Mrs. Ikalo. Please, let's welcome her. And I want to say Happy International Women's Day to her. You are welcome, ma'am. We also have another speaker, architect Abimbola Olubukola Ajayi, FNIA. She's a partner. She partners with Kenning Homes Limited. She's a very exceptional lady of distinction in architecture. She obtained her advanced level general certificate of education with distinction from St. Catherine's School in Goldfield, Surrey, and St. David's College, London, England. You're welcome, ma'am. In 1989, she obtained both Bachelor of Environmental Studies and Bachelor of Architecture from the prestigious University of Lagos, Nigeria. She became a full member of Nigerian Institute of Architects in 1993 and is a registered architect with Architects Registration Council of Nigeria, ACON. Between 1990 and 2004, architect Abimbola worked for Tori Coker Associates, Adeni Coker Consultants Limited, and the Redeemed Christian Church of God and Alpha Architects as a partner. In 2005, she set up her own practice, Aki Works Associates, which she ran successfully until she joined in partnership with Kenning Homes Limited in 2012, where she co-runs the practice successfully till date. Her professional career spanning almost 3 decades sharpened her skills in contract administration and various construction experiences. Mrs. Abimbola is the first female general secretary and later the first female chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Architects, Lagos State chapter, where she served 2 terms selflessly. During both terms, she conceived and worked with her team on the 4-leaf clover plan that led to the redefinition of the Nigerian architect as reliable and relevant to the society, and Nigerian architecture as renewable and rewarding. Thereon, she built the Lagos Architects Cooperative and Multipurpose Society as a platform to empower the individual architects. Mrs. Abimbola, you are welcome, ma'am. We salute your professionalism.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, ma'am. You're welcome. She's a woman of many firsts. Woman of many firsts. First secretary, first chairman. She also served the Nigerian Institute of Architects as the first female honorary general secretary, where she changed the pedigree in service and touched the lives and practice of many architects nationwide. She has served the Nigerian built environment, making significant contributions in various areas. She's an Amazon in Nigerian architectural territory. Abimbola has ascended on a wholesome career ladder in order to attain her level of success as a Nigerian architect, and we are proud of her. I'm proud of you as a woman, and I celebrate you today also. Her tenacity and stamina is unrivaled as she uses her professional charm and her initiatives to further the advancement of the professional and afflicted bodies. You are welcome once again to this webinar this afternoon. And I'm sure that everybody present will go home with something to action on. At the end of it all, we have to stand up and put up action plans to realize our aim. The challenge for us to take all challenges and come up tops as women and as professionals in this built environment. And so we are looking at the topic that says building a thriving ecosystem for female professionals in the built environment. I want to also welcome the CEO of CED Magazine, Mr. Kenneth Odunshola Stevenson. If you are here, you're welcome, sir. And to start this conversation, I'm privileged to invite Engineer Dr. Ikalo to start off with this conversation. You're welcome, ma'am. Engineer Ikalo.
Sorry, I was late. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Good evening. Good evening, the organizers of this program, Mr. Kenneth Udushola Stevenson, the moderator, Mrs. Orievan,
Yes, ma'am.
my my co-conversant, the co-woman that we are going to, my Mrs. Professor Mr. Bimbola Ajayi, everyone here present, I welcome you all. And I want to say Happy Women International Day. The topic says building a thriving ecosystem for female professionals. I am an engineer, so for female engineers in built environments. I want to say that globally, there's gender bias and gender inequality, which are the two main issues of challenge. This topic is being put on for the celebration of International Women's Day. And we know International Women's Day is a global day to celebrate the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity. We have all of us chosen to challenge and call out gender bias inequality. So when we hear women share experiences and then share their knowledge and advice, it is one of the ways to get inspired and then to make a change. I want to boastfully say that women are planners. Women are very energetic, they are vibrant, they are go-getters. Women are smart. And I make bold to say that I'm, proud to be a woman. Women are resilient. You can see, despite the fact that they have been this COVID-19 pandemic, they've been so resilient, and even the insecurity, they have been so strong. Women are virtuous women. So just as the Bible says that Christians are the salt of the earth, women are the spices of the world. So we choose to challenge every inequality as women and every unfair treatment to women by the opposite sex. We choose to stand tall. We choose to encourage and support ourselves, because when women support each other, great things happen. So we are to support our fellow women to rise, irrespective of the class, the culture, the religion, the color. So we are to let ourselves just choose to stretch our hands of fellowship to know how our fellow women are doing. So we choose to challenge every discrimination whatsoever. The topic says building a thriving ecosystem for female professionals in built environments. Now, what is ecosystem? Ecosystem is a complex network of interconnected systems. The big question now is, what does gender equality have to do with the built environment? The built environment comprises of spaces created or modified by people to serve their needs of organization, and then their representation and accommodation. Delivering a sustainable built environment is a vital, in achieving the sustainable goals. So, but before we can consider the topic of the dimensions of building a thriving and successful ecosystem for the female engineers, it is important we first consider the nature and content of the already built environment in which the male counterparts interact with the female engineers. And some are of the challenges that we face. So first and foremost, this built environment is a very skewed and biased male-centered environment. It is a male-dominated environment. It is a male-controlled environment. That is why it is called a man's world, erroneously. So this seems to be one of the biggest challenges that the average female engineer or female professional face in pursuit of their career. There needs to be a thriving environment for women engineers. So what is this thriving environment? What is it supposed to look like? A thriving environment for the women It's supposed to be number one, friendly. It is supposed to be friendly. The male-centered and male-dominated and male-controlled environment is so hostile and unfavorable for the female professional in certain places and culture. So it's very worse, like the moderator said, it is worse in Africa, whereby equal opportunities and level playing ground are not made available for the female professionals. So it is also pertinent to know that this built environment is government unfriendly. It is unfriendly to female and to the female community. That is number one. The thriving environment for women, it should be friendly. Number two is that it should be flexible. Government should put an end to underage female, the female child marriage, so that the chances of these younger ones for them pursuing their education will not be truncated. And secondly, there should be laws and culture prohibiting girl child education, which should be abrogated from our society. Apart from being friendly and being flexible, there should be collaboration. It should be an environment that there should be, there should be team players. Female professionals should be team players. And then they should be role models, and themselves too should also have role models that will support them and guide them, for their career, to grow and be excellent or be successful. Another, factor is that they should be mentors, and also they should also mentor others. Before they mentor others, they should have mentors, and then they should also have coaches. When you get a mentor, it means there are many things you have to get mentoring. We should not think of ourselves as inferior as women. Before, our male counterparts, we should not think of ourselves as inferior. We should think of ourselves as those that are capable. We should be biased, there should be, bias free. Just have an open mind. And then that same environment can thrive for you to be successful when there's respect. Respect everybody in your built environment. Another thing is that you should get empowered. Many female engineers, they do not even have the financial backings to pursue their engineering or their profession, to their highest level. Not to talk of even the undergraduates. They should be empowered. Government also, wherever they are, should also encourage the female professionals with access to financial resources in the forms of scholarship, in the forms of research, grants, soft loans, and so on and so forth, in order that they'll be able to pursue their career to the highest level. The environment should, be a place where female professionals can be allowed to lead. There should be an environment that should, be created so that it be a fair playing environment, a fair playing ground for people to be able to take up leadership to all levels. Another, or for the women to thrive, is communication. They should be able to communicate, be able to speak, and be able to lead with sincerity. And now, how do you achieve success in a built environment? How do you achieve success? There are SMART goals, specific measurable goals that one is supposed to get. For you to be able to get such SMART goals, you need to be outstanding. How do you mean outstanding? You need to be visible. In whatever you are doing as a female professional, should be committed and then have value to add at all times. Apart from the qualifications you may have, you should always have the value to add so that you become outstanding and then meet up with the specific measurable SMART goals. And then you should also be comparative. For a female professional to be able to achieve success in the built environment, be comparative, do some research, be able to brand yourself. You should not sell yourself low. Just present yourself like you know it. You can even fake it. Whatever you are doing, be very, very confident. Don't sell yourself low. Just be comparative. Then also, for you to achieve that attainable an achievable success, you should be focused. That is, persevere. Don't be frustrated in whatever one is doing. One needs to be tenacious as a female professional for one to be able to get to the top. In my own case, I had, as an example, when I was in my workplace, most times I'll be told, oh, this, you cannot do this, you can't do that. But by the time I get the results out, at the end of the day, everything will turn out beautifully. Don't have empathy, learn to collaborate with men. We are to collaborate with them, our counterparts. We are not to compete with them. Be able to tell them that, yes, you can do it. Don't have empathy for yourself. Just collaborate with the men. And there's another thing we need to know, that if we are too humble or we are too respectful, it may not work in our place of work, in our built environment. We just need to be team players. We need to have that passion, and be passionate about our profession, no matter how it is. And then we should show commitment in our workplace, in our built environment. Because passion and commitment, they are vital, to drive a supportive ecosystem. We need that passion and commitment in our built environment. What other way do we achieve, success in our built environment? Hard work is very, very key. We need to have a mindset. We need to think through where our strength is. We need to get our eyes open. When we are reading, we should read broadly. We shouldn't, like I said earlier on, should not just depend on the field that we have in order to achieve success in our built environment. I said earlier on, we need to have mentors, and these mentors are trusted advisors. They should be able to advise us and encourage us so that at the end of the day, we will not be discouraged. It is very, very key, to achieve, having all these factors in order to achieve success in our built environment. Now, it's a continuation of how we have to achieve, success in our built environment. Number one is that we need to have self-awareness. The female professionals need to have self-awareness. You need to, groom yourself as a female professional, know what you are doing, and then you'll be able to have, a good negotiation skills. When you have a good negotiation skills, and then you do it very well, grooming yourself, so you get the best, you get to your success, you get to the peak. You are being remunerated. You need to have effective communication. You should have good communication skill. Encourage diversity. We should create more opportunities in order, for us to connect to others. We can't just be on our own. We need to, explore. Have other networks. Develop networks. We need to open up to networks. Join female, centric network groups. Just like in the engineering field, we have the Female Association of Professional Women Engineers, which is UPWEN. You join such network, and with that, you see yourself being exposed, and then you get a lot of experience. You develop your leadership presence and impact. How do you do that? You build a supportive network, so with others who are already there. Before you knew it, you become, an expert in your own field. I want to also, let us know that lack of mentorship limits our professional growth. We need mentorship. Mentorship is very important. There are people you will see out there. You say, oh, these people are doing very well as a professional. You need to go closer to them. There are other areas like even LinkedIn. LinkedIn is there. We use it. From there, you see a lot of people. I have so many mentees, from that LinkedIn. So it's good we have that mentorship. There's a popular saying that says, it is not what you know, but who you know. So by knowing them, before you know it, your success, will be guaranteed. So we need to find those women professionals who are sailing on the same ship, with us. If you are an architect, find such, female professional. If you are a lawyer, if that's a profession, find such, female professional. An engineer, find them. And at the end of the day, you see yourself rubbing minds together, and success will now be, a thing of joy in your own life. So that is very important for us to be able to achieve success and excellence in our built environment. Now, there are strategies that one needs, to build a thriving ecosystem of female engineers or female professionals in built environment. There are strategies, so many of them. Number one is education. Each female engineer should be enlightened, because the built environment profession in the developed countries, they are mainly male dominated. I remembered in my first year, I went abroad first year to study medicine. I didn't go to study engineering. And all of a sudden, I had government scholarship. So I was now told, not myself alone, a lot of us that were sponsored for medicine, we're now told to choose another, subject that could take like that 4 years or so, 4 years, engineering or other courses. So I chose engineering, So in that aspect, I decided to, study chemical engineering. Before then, we were giving aptitude tests. And in the class, I was the only female amongst them, So we need to earn our first degree, second degree, and third if possible. Because the area we are in as professionals, they are male dominated, like I said earlier on. So wherever we are going to, attend these schools, those universities must be accredited by, if they are engineers, Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria. You should be a licensed professional in order for you to thrive. This is one of the strategies you need to, have to thrive in an ecosystem for female professionals in built environments. You must complete the first degree in a university that is accredited, and then licensed. I mean, have experience, and then take, join professional bodies in order to be licensed or registered as a professional. You need education. Education and training, they are very key. Even in wherever we are, in our built environments, we need to be trained. You can be trained by yourself. Even the companies you are working should also train you. Before they can train you, they should know that, yes, you bring glory to the company. Because some people, they are very slow, in the built environment. We need to be smart as female professionals. And then secondly, there should be incentives for employers, such as childcare. I know some organizations, maybe some multinationals, who train at least 4 children of each married staff from nursery to university. These incentives are very necessary, for employers to give to the staffers as childcare. And then there should be job security. It is not, for the built environment or the employers to just hire and fire. There should be better job security. And then fourthly, there should be clear policy on discrimination. There are so many. Discrimination on gender is much in the whole world. Discrimination on race, religion, age, even on income and ability. So a lot of discrimination. So we should always ensure, we as women professionals, to celebrate women, and that is one of the ways to build a supportive ecosystem. Female professionals is to work with, most times with medias, outlets or TVs and so on and so forth, in order to expose yourself so that you'll be known. These ones will highlight our stories and build our careers, and impact in our communities. Once there are discriminations like that, such policies should be removed. Then, when there are discriminations, just make yourself, boost up yourself and say, yes, I'm capable of doing this. And then allow yourself, to be known all around that you, as a female professional, you can also make it to the top. And in your built environment as a female professional, there should be flexible working hours. Female professionals should not be, outstretched into late hours and weekends without pay. That is an unjust thing to do, in a built environment. And then they should be extending the influence of women in decision-making policies. Women should be allowed to be in decision-making policies in order to build a thriving ecosystem for female engineers in built environment. They should be allowed to be, decision makers. They should not be marginalized. There should be equal access to assignments wherever we are. And then the examination, promotion, the criterion should be known. Then lastly is the support into more senior roles. Support into more senior roles. We should be allowed to go into leadership. And for us, when we go into leadership, there needs to be network. There should be creation of more opportunities for women professionals to connect to these leaders who, are high, visibility in working groups. There should be that equal opportunity. That opportunity should be allowed, to the women professionals. And in that period, when they are with the senior professionals, they are in such working groups, question and answer sessions should be, allowed, so that whenever there are issues the female professionals, they should be able to ask, in that inclusive network events. That will help them to thrive in the ecosystem for female professionals in built environment. Next slide, please. And then, what can women do to raise their profile and recognition? For them to do this, for the women professionals to be able to raise their profile and recognition, they should be able to challenge the challenges. Number one is that women professionals should speak up. They should speak with conviction. Women should have, that good communication skills, able to speak. Because as they voice out their ideas, they will not have more benefits. They will be recognized and they will be duly credited. They should be highly analytical. They should be detailed and oriented. I remember that I went for an inspection in one of our sites, and I discovered that even the quality of the materials used was not okay. And the person, the guy at the site engineer was saying, oh, it was okay. We are detailed. Women, they are supposed to, do things in a detailed form in order for them to have success. I even went out last week because this is the connection with International Women's Day. I went out last week to purchase a gas cooker, and I discovered, if it's probably like, maybe let me use my husband or somebody else, the person will just pick the gas cooker and go home. But when I looked at the 6 burners, I discovered that there was one knob that was just, up. I said, but this is not like the rest. And when I touched it, it was shaking. So I said, no, this has to be returned. If I didn't look, at that, if I wasn't detailed enough, I would have carried it home, and it would have been an issue. And a lot of time would have wasted doing that. So women, they have to speak out, be detailed and oriented. And they have to embrace new challenges. They need to be imaginative and creative. Women need to keep up with industry trends, women professionals. They need to be alert, on daily basis, on weekly basis, on monthly basis, keeping up with, industry trends. They need to check happenings and figure out which new trends, one should prefer in whatever they are doing. Women also, number 4, needs to support, their co-workers. When we support each other, great things happen. Fourthly is that we should get to know our colleagues. We should enjoy as female professionals to work as a team or as teams. We should be proactive. We should be enterprising, enjoy building or improving the way things work. We should take control of a situation and make early changes before such things will cause us problems. Women professionals need to be strategic. They should not give up easily. They should champion discussion and be inclusive. They shouldn't be secluded, They should be visible. Look out for more things that are visible online. They should sign up for emails, maybe on LinkedIn or so. Stay out at alert, have Google alerts to be able to know what is happening. And then they should take up advantage of training opportunities. And then the last one is that women professionals should have audience analysis. They should identify the audience and then adapt a speech of their interest to the level of understanding, level of the people that they are discussing with. Have the audience discuss with them. Whatever the attitudes or whatsoever, just learn from people's attitudes and beliefs. Always have an audience analysis in order for a female professional to be able to have, to be successful in the built environment. These are the things we need to do to challenge those challenges. We need to challenge stereotypes as female professionals. And then on that, celebration of women should be challenged. Women need to be celebrated. Just like I said, if you are not celebrated, you can also celebrate yourself. Before you know it, via TVs and so on and so forth, you'll be recognized. Just like we are doing here, even in Port Harcourt. We go from, most times also on courtesy calls, we go to television, we kind of advertise ourselves, and then people know that we are there. We should challenge gender bias, challenge barriers and gender injustice. We should challenge the non-inclusive, works. These are the things we need to do in order that we should increase our profiles so that we'll be recognized. In a summary, ultimately feeling valued at your built environment or your workplace and getting the promotion you feel you deserve can come down to how visible or successful you are. Once you are feeling valued in your built environment and your workplace, you get the promotion you feel you deserve. And then people will now see that, yes, this is a professional, that is successful. Women professionals are integral for a healthy ecosystem and a strong economic growth. In conclusion, there's Victor Kiam said, if opportunity does not knock, build a door. If opportunity does not knock, you should build a door. You must choose to challenge inequality and other gender-related issues. Because once you challenge, change will come. Someone said, what you don't want, you don't watch. So confronting those greatest challenges we face in our built environment will take concerted and collective efforts. So let us choose to challenge. We should raise up our hands as we have called out aspects that are unhelpful, which could be access to education and so on and so forth. As more and more women enter profession, for instance, engineering profession, the attitudes must have to change, because as individuals, we need to be proactive in ensuring that things happen. So the built environment profession is the fastest growing industry for women. It has increased by 30% since 2017. Women, especially women professionals, should choose to challenge all gender bias stereotypes. We should shatter the glass ceiling and take our places as leaders. We can become truly accomplished at something that we are passionate about. And passion is energy that comes from focusing on what excites us. It should be channeled into pursuing the things that we love to do. we should choose to challenge our, our passion. We should be awesome at whatever we do and shatter the glass ceiling. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to thank again Engineer Dr. Ikalo for this presentation. Right now, I'm going to call on architect Abimbola Olubukola Ajayi, FNIN, to come up and continue in this conversation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank Construction and Engineering Digest for this event, and I want to thank you for finding me worthy to be a co-speaker. And I want to thank the CEO of CED. I want to thank the organizers, and I want to especially thank my co-speaker. She has done a wonderful job on this topic. Thank you very much. You have made my job a lot easier. The moderator has done a wonderful job in introducing myself, so I won't bother doing this anymore. And very quickly, I will go to the presentation. Building a thriving ecosystem for female professionals in the built environment. Now, I would like to say that we all know that the IWD campaign theme for this year is choose to challenge. And in choosing to challenge, a challenged world, according to the IWD, is an alert world. Individually, we are all responsible for our own thoughts and actions. Every time, every day, all day, in all that we do, we are responsible for our own thoughts and actions. We can all choose to challenge and call out gender bias and inequality. We can also choose to seek out and celebrate women's achievements. Collectively, we can all help to create an inclusive world. From challenge comes change, what I would call positive change, because you can have negative change, you can have positive change, you can have positive next level, you can have a negative next level. But from challenge comes positive change. So let us all choose to challenge. Now, the International Women's Day 2021 campaign theme, Choose to Challenge, like I said earlier on, is very apt at this time, especially post-COVID. Well, it looks like we're back in COVID anyway. We are to challenge negative cultural norms, challenge the position at the table, that is, ability to take decisions at the table. We are to challenge the right to be part of decision-making. We are to challenge violence against women, challenge denial of the rights to women. I will challenge gender stereotypes and biases. I will forge positive visibility for women. I will call out gendered actions or assumptions, and I will maintain gender equal mindset. Now, a bit of a background to IWD 2021. The IWD is well known globally, marked on 8th of March of every year to celebrate social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity. From 1911, when IWD gatherings started in parts of Europe, Germany, Austria, Netherlands, to name a few, campaign for women's equality took different dimensions by different groups over the century. The path to women's equality, equity, and gender parity has been long and challenging. Each stage provided an important focus and brought the gender agenda closer home to reality, from activism to feminism to fix the women, you know, when women were going about braless, fix the women programs, to change the organization structure where we all want to be part of the boardroom, to men as allies ideology. That is, we'll have men to support, which we now have actually, to support women, unlike before. Today, as the world expects inclusivity, IWD brings all of these groups everywhere together by promoting and advocating equity, diversity, and inclusion. We must remember that the rise of women is not about the fall of men. After all, the Holy Book refers to the woman as a helpmate for the man. So we are expected to work together. We are expected to collaborate. Just like my co-speaker said earlier on, you know, we are not to compete. We are actually to complete each other. We must remember that the campaign for equity, equal rights, gender parity is not about competition. That's what I just said, but about a support for each other, celebrating each other's strengths, and supporting each other's weaknesses. Anyone can play a role in gender parity. Gender balance is not solely a woman's issue, but it is also an economic issue. Individually and collectively, we are needed to make sure that we have advocacy, inclusive mindset, and tangible action. All this shouldn't just be about words. We also have to act what we are saying. Now, part of the background, you know, when I talked about earlier on, and I said that fix the women program and change the organization structure, women belong in all places where decisions are being made. Women's rights are human rights. Many women in the past, in the annals of history, have taken up leadership roles. They've taken up responsibilities. They've been actively involved and actively made positive changes in their society, in their nation, and in every area where they have been a part of. I mean, I would just call them the Esther of their generation. Positive impacts and changes were achieved socially, economically, politically, structurally, culturally, and professionally. Now, the key challenges that we can talk about when we are saying what's all this about inequality, inequity, gender parity. There are many challenges facing the female gender, most especially professionals. It's easier for people to see women and say, oh, she's a caterer, or she's a dressmaker, or she's a homemaker. When you become a professional, there are actually extra challenges. But that's not the end of the world. More pronounced is the challenges faced by female professionals in the built environment. It's easier to be an accountant, I believe. It's easier to be a medical doctor because people will look at you as somebody who is soft, you know, who they can rely on and all that. But when we talk about the hardness in built environment, female professionals actually face extra challenges. Enumerated below are a few of these common challenges. From young age, girls are taught that when they speak up and take charge, they are bossy. Unfortunately, in the built environment, you have to be a leader. So you have to be a woman or a girl who will speak up, who will take charge of activities. But unlike girls, boys are called leaders for behaving in the exact same way. This phenomenon plays a huge role in why women are significantly less likely to pursue leadership or even be interested in the first place in these leadership opportunities than men. Number two, for a woman to be recognized, she has to work at least twice as much as her male counterpart to prove herself. Today, women compete equally with men. In schools, you know, they dust boys and they dust men off. They do this in every sector, albeit with the need to work much harder. We cannot shy away from the fact that the feminine or the female gender has to work much harder to prove herself. In recent times, Women work hard to meet financial needs in families, helping their husbands, helping their brothers, helping their fathers to meet financial needs, despite these challenges faced in order to balance family and work. And I just like this tagline by the UNDP, women rights and human rights. Some of the key challenges, like I said before, another one, number 3, is lack of mentorship. My predecessor in speaking this afternoon talked about mentorship. Lack of mentorship for professional growth of women professionals. There is this popular saying that it is not what you know, but who you know. Finding women entrepreneurs who are sailing on the same ship is important. You have to know the people who are in the same environment, the same profession, the same interests, for you to be able to grow and to excel. Building a female-centric networking group is a powerful way to foster the women entrepreneurship circle and build more successful professional women. I don't need to delve much into this because my predecessors spoke about this, about the COREN, NSC, NIA, and all the relevant professional bodies. Number 4, with less than 30% of females compared to the male counterparts in the built environment sector, there is no gainsaying that there is gender imbalance. However, this statistics, yet to be verified scientifically, is just what everybody talks about. It's brought about by a few factors other than cultural and religious. Most of the female professionals are not found in the technical and operational activities of their professions, as usually feel more comfortable in managerial, administrative, and academic activities. Many blame these challenges on difficulty in balancing work, home, family, and social activities, and thus women are perceived as not being capable of fully practicing the profession, amongst others. Like I said before, women's rights and human rights. There are positive changes. We cannot avoid that, and we cannot shy away or ignore that over the century, 110 years now, 1911 to 2021, there has been positive changes. Luckily, there's a movement to change these enumerated challenges. The IWD has created a globally accepted platform to ensure positive changes towards equality, equity, and gender parity. Historically, women have driven vibrancy, innovation, and national economic growth. Entrepreneurs make innovation possible. And because women are natural innovators, it shows that women have the innate abilities to be successful entrepreneurs and by extension, successful professionals. Now to the main topic, building a thriving ecosystem. Dr. Ikalo has already defined the ecosystem beautifully and also thriving beautifully. But I would like to add to all that she has said. In consideration for building a thriving ecosystem for female professionals in the built environment, we need to start, if we haven't started, or intensify our efforts to ensure that we celebrate female professionals in the built environment. Female professionals in the built environment must be consciously and consistently and conscientiously celebrated, regardless of their race, well, I would say tribe, color, their income bracket, their age, their abilities, their societal class, and their identity. Organized events such as this, media outlets, electronic, social, print media, must be positively used to highlight stories of female professionals and entrepreneurs building companies and impacting the community. I must especially thank and congratulate CED Magazine, because the few years, well, few, but not so few that I have known them, they have actually strived to celebrate professionals, and they have not shied away from celebrating female professionals. And I want to say thank you on behalf of the female professionals that you have celebrated in the past. Number two, We need to intensify our efforts to empower and protect women's rights. A woman needs empowerment to be impactful and independent. We are already impactful. We are already independent to some extent, but we still need further empowerment. In general, many people think that for empowerment and protection of women's rights, education of women and the girl child is sufficient. This is far from the truth. Men also need to be educated, they need to be sensitized, and they need to be involved in women-related issues. Nowadays, some men are encouraging women. Like I said, that men are now allies, and they are trying to protect women's rights. You find a lot of lawyers rising up today and protecting women who have been abused, either emotionally or physically, and all kinds of things. But more needs to be done. Gender sensitization, equality, equity, and parity should start from the family. Then the women will get more respect from the society. Let me give you a brief story of something that happened to me decades ago on a site on Ilashe Beach off the coast of Lagos. You know, I was correcting some workmen for what they were doing, and one of them made a snide remark. After all, Muniru Enile, that is, he has somebody like me at home. And then my colleague, who is male, he heard what he said and he replied in that, oh, because you know. So you could see that a male colleague was ready to rise up. That was even when I heard the snide remark that he made. So you find that sometimes, because we are women, we face all kinds of snide remarks, all kinds of insults, but you don't look at that. You just continue to do your work, and you are not perturbed at all. Number 3, we need to create awareness. There are several campaigns that help to build awareness for female professionals in the built environment and invest in women across the socio-economic spectrum. This event is one such platform. Such campaigns also provide female professionals the wherewithal to build their businesses and brands. Participation in programs and campaigns can help female professionals learn, identify and articulate deliverables and enhance competence. It is key that we have competence. Key inflection points in the businesses are readily identified, and presentation for venture investors are greatly improved upon. It is important also to develop competence so that when these rights are attained, the position can be sustained. We keep shouting, we want to be part of the boardroom, we want to be part of the organizers, we want to be part of the leaders, but are we ready to also develop the competence that would keep us in that position or even help us to go higher? Number 4, we need to also provide a thriving culture and ecosystem. Professionalism and confidence of females in the built environment can be boosted by providing a thriving culture and ecosystem that provides support. This can be likened to a haven that fosters creativity, values originality, and provides entrepreneurs with benefits such as learning from each other's mistakes, sharing knowledge, making lifelong and invaluable connections, networking, learning new business skills, and keeping abreast of business trends. We must consciously and deliberately create a safe space where professionals feel welcome and ensure that it is equally accessible to all female professionals in the built environment. Creating a culture of inclusivity, I mentioned that before, allows for female professionals in the built environment to dream bigger, to be bolder, and delve deeper. Creating space means developing a culture of acceptance that strengthens the societies, because once you strengthen a woman, you have strengthened her environment and by extension, the society. Number 5, we need to be committed. Commitment is vital to drive a supportive ecosystem. An impact-driven ecosystem does not happen overnight. It takes years of advancing entrepreneurial programs. Recession will come, recession will go. COVID has come, COVID is going, or it has gone. Ebola came, it went. Recession will come, recession will go, but a vigorous and pulsating ecosystem can weather anything to grow and support entrepreneurs and professionals alike. Creating a long-term commitment to a healthy ecosystem requires a community support, starting first with entrepreneurs and professionals themselves. Professionals must lead the community and represent what they stand for: drive, passion, growth, knowledge, energy, to name a few. All investors in an ecosystem should be looking at the larger picture and not just at themselves or at their micro space. And they must focus on providing female professionals in the built environment with proper tools to arm them. Ample access must be provided to programs and training courses to support idea. That's part of the education that my predecessor spoke about. Make available resources on how to build ideas into thriving business empire, and show how to scale businesses and find capital, mentors, resources, and media connections. Women belong in all places where decisions are being made. Women's rights are human rights. A final word. In conclusion, I have some advice that I would like to leave with my female professional environment. We need to be proactive and strive to be at par with our male colleagues. We don't have any excuses at all. We opened our eyes and we walked into the profession. We should be ready to be proactive and strive to be at par. Women are usually more committed, actually, and they are more productive when handling tasks, and they excel. And any responsibilities that they are involved in, they would excel in it. Hence, in my view, the female professionals usually are the ones that put the ceiling of inability on their abilities and God-given talents. Number two, women should not limit their horizon. They must be ready to break that glass ceiling they have put over themselves. There is great satisfaction and untold contentment in following one's dreams and aspirations. Don't let what is happening around you to kill your dream or to douse your aspirations. This you must always consciously and consciously.
Joshua, give me.
Number three, women should go beyond being mere homemakers, but also be home builders in the real sense of being creative builders. The woman as defined in Proverbs 31 of the Bible is not just confined to the looking after of the home and family. She's an astute businesswoman, a creative entrepreneur, an innate leader, a trustworthy resource, a strong worker, a generous giver, a fashionable being, an honorable personality, a wise counselor, kind-hearted, and above all, God-fearing. Those are the few words I have for us this afternoon. And I hope that I've been able to at least open up our minds such that wherever we find ourselves, we'll be ready to challenge the norm, to challenge the status quo, and to bring equity, equality, and gender parity. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon.
So I want to thank you for this insightful presentation. And from all she said, we need to work together. Women need to be supported. Women need to network. They need to collaborate. They need to be committed to this cause. And don't just be home builders, but also be builders in the ecosystem. And I know that it will take a lot of work. It will take a lot of passion. It will take a lot of knowledge building, capacity building, and so on to get to the level where women will be very, very visible. I want to just say a few things that Engineer Kunle Adebajo just put on the chat form. He says, yes, that he really thinks that the nation has advanced as women start to occupy these positions that have been outlined during the presentation of our two speakers. that it is actually work in progress. Yes, I agree to that. But any community that misses out on the diversity of views and talent of 50% of the population is only to be pitied. So he's saying that this is not just about data and statistics, it is a well-established fact. Exceptional and extraordinary warriors are needed, but the real war is won by the entire army. And that is what Architect Abimbola has said, the same thing that Engineer Ikalo said. The war has to be won by the entire army, by all the women coming together, collaborating, being committed to this cause. They will win the war of people, we being marginalized and all that. Thank you so much once again, Architect Abimbola. I want to also use this opportunity to recognize some other people that have joined, some other professionals. I want to recognize Architect Mrs. Helen Bibinu. You're welcome, ma'am. I want to also recognize Engineer John Iya. You're welcome also to this program. For now, I want to say that if you have a question or you have a contribution, please just raise your hand up. If you don't want to type it there, we'll call you to ask you a question or to make contributions to the what we have been talking on. If you have any question, please, you're free to ask. Just raise your hand up. We'll call you up to ask the question. Engineer Dr. Mrs. Ikalo is still around. Architect Abimbola Ajayi is still around. They will take up the questions, and the other engineers who are here also, please. If you have a question to ask, please ask. Somebody is saying that we have 50% of the population as women. Besides, so, and she's saying, Claire is saying, you have not helped her in any way understand why, as the nation advances, our infrastructure livelihood is degenerating with all these women in effective position. I'm seeking understanding in this area. Somebody is, Claire, is saying that having 50%, according to Engineer Adebajo, having 50% of women in this profession, that she doesn't understand why our infrastructure is degenerating with all these women in place. And we know that where women are, there is progress. I must say that when women are involved in anything, they make progress and they go all the way to take it up and progress. But why are we having this degenerating livelihood in infrastructure? I don't know if anybody is ready to pick that up. Claire is asking that question. I don't know if Engineer Adebajo will say something on that, because he was the one that made mention of the 50% of the population being women. Do we throw the ball to Engineer Adebajo or Engineer Ikalo or Architect Abimbola will take up that question?
I'm trying to find the question. I'm trying to understand.
It's from Claire. She's saying, if women are not 50% of the population, she said, women are not 50% of the population. Besides, you have not helped me understand why, as the nation advances, our infrastructure livelihood is degenerating with all these women in effective position. So she's seeking understanding of why that is happening. With women in this position, we are having our infrastructure degenerating. Okay, please unmute. Okay, Engineer Carlo, please, just a second. IT, please, can you unmute Engineer Kunle Adebajo, please? Can you unmute him while Engineer Ekalo is trying to respond to that?
I wasn't really trying to respond. I saw Kunle Adebajo's hand up.
Yes, please, can you unmute Engineer?
Okay, I think I am now. Okay, yes, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, and
I should say, firstly, fantastic presentations from my dear sisters who have spoken. I'm really pleased to be here, and congratulations to CED. I will start off by making a few comments. I'm actually quite excited about this because I was having a little debate with Claire as we were also listening. So, to be honest, if you just read one or two of the messages, you will not understand the full thread of the discussion. Anyway, when I first joined, I saw it was all women. Thank God I saw Festus in the room, and I thought maybe I shouldn't be here. But I actually think it's very important, actually, that men must be listening to this.
Yes.
I strongly believe that the problem is actually not the women's, it's the men's, and. There were some things that were said in your presentations, the two presenters, that I really liked. I think the one that stands out that I will point to is where they mentioned that the rise of women is not actually about the fall of men. The rise of women is not about the fall of men. It's about everybody rising and improving. This country needs every single thing it has to get off the floor. That's the reality. So for me, if I see a 3-year-old who can give me an idea that is going to give me a better solution, then why should I say, oh, no, because he's younger than me, I shouldn't listen to it? And we have that mentality in this nation where things like age, gender, even physical, we allow it to reduce the strength that we have as a nation. So I am so pleased to be at this gathering. I congratulate the ladies in the house on International Women's Day, but I will actually say that this is it's actually just one day in the whole year. Women have been doing marvelous things and continue to do so. However, talking about the built environment, if I can just say a few things that I think I think the presentations mentioned it, but the difference between things like the accountancy profession, even the medical one to some extent, and the built environment, to me, is the fact that most people always look to role models. They look, if you go into a room, you look to see who looks like you. And once you find somebody who does look like you, you tend to latch onto that person and generally gravitate that way. So in the built environment, when there are so few females, the chances are that many very bright young ladies will join. They will start 1 year or two, but they will not see anybody that looks like them in leadership positions, speaking out, doing good exploits, and they will just suddenly feel that, okay, everything people have been telling me that you're a woman now, you shouldn't be in this, is true. But when they see the likes of architects Ajayi talking, then they would tend to feel that, oh yes, I can aspire to that. And we must not underestimate the role of, the importance of role models. The other thing I will say is we talked about the ecosystem, and I know that the definition is one of, linkages. So there is no doubt that within the industry, women do need to be self-supportive. They have gone through the problems. It's like somebody coming to ask me now about, please, I'm about to give birth next month. Can you give me some advice? I haven't been through labor. I haven't had a child. So the truth is, women need to be self-supportive of themselves because they have the same sort of problems. My husband says I shouldn't go on site. Or even that example about people saying to your face that who are you? I have a wife, I have someone like you at home. You know, all those things need support. It is enough to push one off rail, but when ladies like yourselves who are making it in the industry are able to support, I think that's where the ecosystem can really work. The final thing I will say, since I'm not the speaker, I'm not the presenter, is that I will challenge one thing though. As much as I loved everything that the presenter said, I think both of them came up with one saying that I would like to challenge. And I think that's where Claire comes from a little bit, I guess. I'm hoping Claire will also come on, on the line. But you did say there's a, and you didn't, to be fair, you didn't say it was necessarily true, but you said there's a popular saying. It is not what you know, but who you know. I think actually that I will play that down because I actually think that the biggest thing a woman can do, and I will tell any woman who comes into my office that please don't think that being a woman entitles you to any form of lower standard or anything other than that. That look, please don't. Yes, you may be lucky if there are positions and they say, okay, we need some females, you may be there, but don't allow that to reduce your quest to be the best, because even yourself, you may not be able to live with it if you feel that you have been put in a position that you don't merit. So please, those ladies who are listening, the young ones aspiring, I think, don't rely so much on only the network. Make sure that you are full of substance, because that will get you everywhere. And I also finally say that, yes, I stand clearly behind the women in challenging all these terrible things we talk. I hope Claire is not suggesting we should go back to the period where we say girls should not be educated. We definitely know we've gone way beyond that. So similarly, we need to continue improving and moving forward. Thank you very much for listening to me. And congratulations, everybody, for a wonderful session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Engineer Kule Adebajo. Is the CEO of Overup. Yeah, you can hear me? Okay, yes, thank you for that contribution. At least we have a male voice to support women here. Yes. We're glad you came up, and we're glad you said something to support us. So we are not afraid. We're proud. You know what it means where you are walking through dark spaces, and then a guy is following you, or you're going through people that want to actually beat you, and a guy is following you. You know how proud you are. You walk with your shoulders high, and you walk tall. That is the way we feel today as you lend us your voice, Engineer Adebajo. Thank you so much for that contribution. I want to also recognize some other people that have joined in. I want to recognize Town Planner Comfort Odo. You're welcome. I'm going to ask Engineer John Okodia to say something. Yeah, his hand is up, sorry. John Okodia, I'm going to ask you to say something after recognizing Esther Sovia and Valia Claire Afulono. You're welcome so much. This is another man that wants to give us a support and remove every fear and support us from just being women in the kitchen to be professional women who can also climb the trees, climb the ladder, and do the hard stuff in the sun, put a helmet, and then work as men. You're welcome, Engineer Okodia, please. You have something to say?
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
I don't want my friend Kunle to feel lonesome. So let me lend male voice to this. The stereotype of women in the professions, or not being there, or not being supposed to be there, will continue. It's like racism. The mindset most human beings wired that way. It only takes time, education, experience, and so on to erase beliefs and long-standing practices. So I don't want the women to be discouraged, because even in the Nigerian Society of Engineers, we have outstanding women. The Madukas, the Adetibas, and so on and so forth. One of them spoke one of these days on the FM radio program. And it was quite articulate. The problem is not that the advocacy is not there, but perhaps the audience is not the right one. I mean, look at us now, 20 odd people. It's only women. And I mean, it's mainly women. It's mainly the professionals. What happens to the women politicians, the others, the managers, the other professions? This ecosystem we're talking about, built environment, but it affects every woman in every profession, because the built environment is an umbrella one. Every environment, sub-environment. So women must not be discouraged. We must not be intimidated, and we must be hopeful, because we've come a long way. We've come a long way. We're mentioning the likes of Joywala and so on and so forth. In fact, there's a video the other day, while we were worrying about COVID, the women were silently. Somebody has brought out statistics of women in leadership. I'm talking about political leadership at the level of decision making in the Scandinavian countries and elsewhere. By women prime ministers, women legislators, and so on and so forth. So, my sisters, we've come a long way. I think it's time to celebrate ourselves and encourage ourselves. I believe that tomorrow will be much better in and outside the built environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Engineer John Okodia, for lending your voice to us today and helping us to raise our shoulders high. Thank you so much. And I just want to ask, if there are no questions, no contributions, I want to go back to Engineer Dr. Kalu for a parting word, just in 2 minutes.
I want us to just understand that this campaign that we are talking about, it is not about competing. It is about us working together. And I'm hoping that even after now, things are going to be better for us. And that we know that we can only become truly accomplished at anything which we have that passion about. We should just continue to have the passion to forge ahead as women to be successful in our built environment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm going back to Architect Abimbola Ajayi. What do you want us to welcome?
Thank you very much. I mentioned a few final words earlier on, and in this forum, I have noticed that we are probably all highly placed in our places or in our professions. And I want to just encourage us, like I said earlier on, that if we have not started in all the strategies to build a thriving ecosystem, then we should try and improve on what we have. I liked what Engineer Adibaju said earlier on. He supported us. Thank you very much. I have known him for decades. I don't know whether he remembers me, but I thank you for supporting us. And when we actually talked about who you know and not what you can do, we were actually talking about mentorship, so that you need to know the right people that would mentor you. I don't agree with people who come and say, oh, because I'm a woman, I'm not able to do this. Oh, I have menstrual cramp, I have this, I have that. No. You have to also build your competence for you to be able to sustain what you have attained. So for all of us in this platform, if we have not started, please let us start encouraging women. We need encouragement. That's the truth of the matter. Because there are some strong women who actually fall by the wayside because they don't have the support that they need. And most importantly, support base starts from the family, starts from your close friends, starts from your close allies. And Engineer John, thank you also for supporting Engineer Kunle Adibaju in supporting us. Thank you very much, everybody, for attending this wonderful event. And are you Engineer Van? You have done a wonderful job. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Architect Abimbola Ajayi. You've done so well, and the Engineer Dr. Mrs. Ikalo. In fact, I've learned so much. All this I'm going to run with. From today, it is stand up and start. It's an action time now. It's no more talk. So we're going to put everything into action. But just a minute before we go, or before we say our parting words from here, from CED, I want to call up Esther, Sofia, and Valia Claire Afulono, please.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. If you read through the chat, you will see that I lay claim to experience as one of the old women who managed to break the ceiling, as you say. My point is that we do not need to beg anybody to be who we want to be. All I disagree with the modern trend is asking we should be giving incentive. Women are strong, and if you are strong, you show your strength by the way you are recognized through your activity. So I will be happy personally if we concentrated more on being more professional, more efficient, more capable, and we find we'll go a very long way than asking people or men or those who are already. It's not a question of men and women. It's just that the men got there before us. And you cannot replace somebody who is already sitting down unless you move the person. And that person is not going to give you any chances. It's not going to give you any incentives. And the only incentive, I keep asking people, and that's why in my profession, we don't have any female organization. Why? I keep asking. When we're in school, did they give you a different exam? Did you pass a different exam? Did they give you any incentive? So how can you go through being an engineer after how many years, an architect, anybody in the building industry, and then you begin to ask for incentives? I don't understand it, because for people like me who graduated in the 70s and went in to get to managerial position, we had to show that we are capable. And I think it's because of that capacity, ability, that made it possible for more women to come. That is what, when you talk about mentoring, when you talk about people, role models, it has to be not just because a woman is dressed and looking pretty in an office. It's because the woman is able to say, okay, I designed this house, I built this house, I am part of the people who did this road. If you're going in as a consultant, nobody looks at your CV and says, oh, this is a woman. They look at what you have done, what your CV says, I have been able to do this, do this, do this, do this. So that's my point. I wish women should concentrate more on building themselves. In that way, they can compete and achieve better. So good luck to everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Esther, Sofia, and Valia Claire Afulono, for your contribution. women, build up yourself. We don't need anybody to, like what she said, in the class when we were in school, we all took the same courses. There was nobody, we were not pampered to do anything. We wore the jeans and we did all that, all the practicals and all that. So it is up to us to also stand up and do the things that we ought to do and stand up straight. But however, women need support. We need support. We need support from every angle in order to strive in this ecosystem. We need support for us to strive. And the support we know comes from different areas, the government, our mentors, our colleagues, and all that. I want to say that I have actually had a good time under these presentations by our able professionals in the industry. Thank you so much, Engineer Dr. Mrs. Ikalo. I want to thank you so much for that presentation. And I also want to thank Architect Abimbola Ajayi. Thank you so much for your presentation and the contributions from the men, Engineer Kunle Adebajo and Engineer John Okodia. Thank you so much. And I also want to thank God for CED for putting up this event this year. We pray that by next year it's going to be outside the box. Now it's going to be where we will see one-on-one, and then we can talk and interact better. Okay, please, just a second before we go. We have 2 awards for outstanding professionals here, please. Okay, we have this award, Certificate of Achievement, awarded to Town Planner Rosemary Omayena Odubako. This award is presented to her today, the 9th of March 2021, as an outstanding professional woman in the built environment in commemoration of International Women's Day 2021. Your dedication, insight, and contributions to building a solid practice in the construction and engineering industry is indeed inspiring. CED Magazine congratulates you on this milestone and professional achievement. Hence, we accord you the special award and recognition as Outstanding Professional Woman in the Built Environment 2021. Congratulations. 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 Please, can we have the next award? The next award goes to Dr. Taibat Lawanson, awarded this day, March 9, 2021, as also an outstanding professional woman in the built environment. Your dedication, insight, and contributions to building a solid practice in the construction and engineering industry is indeed inspiring. CED Magazine congratulates you on this milestone and professional achievement. Hence, we accord you this special award and recognition as Outstanding Professional Woman in the Built Environment 2021. Congratulations, Dr. Taibat Lawanson. So thank you so much once again, and do have a good evening.